In 1582, the most powerful warlord in Japan was assassinated. Tokugawa Ieyasu, the man who would become shogun, was stranded in enemy territory near Osaka with a small retinue and no army. Rival forces were actively hunting him. His only way home was through the mountain passes of Iga province, some of the most treacherous terrain in Japan, controlled by bandits and hostile clans. One man saved his life. Hattori Hanzo assembled over 300 ninja from the Iga and Koga provinces and personally escorted Tokugawa through those mountains at night, moving silently through darkness for hours across uneven terrain in deep crouch positions that most modern men cannot hold for 60 seconds. They called it the Shinobi Method, and the legs that carried a future shogun through those passes were not built by squats, lunges, or leg press. They were built by a system of 5 stealth walking techniques that loaded the quads, calves, and hamstrings through sustained deep knee positions for hours at a time. By the end of this video, you will understand exactly how ninja stealth training built legs that modern gym programs physically cannot replicate. Most guys train legs the same way: squats, leg press, lunges, maybe some calf raises. And every one of those exercises has something in common. They are dynamic. You go down, you come back up. The muscle loads during the rep and unloads between reps. Nobody holds the bottom of a squat while slowly transferring body weight from one leg to the other across uneven ground in total darkness for 30 minutes straight. That sustained isometric loading at the deepest, most mechanically demanding knee angle is the one thing modern leg training never asks for. And it is the one thing every shinobi walking technique demands. Now compare that to feudal Japan. In the mountainous provinces of Iga and Koga, more than 50 ninja clans operated during the height of their influence in the 16th century. Children began physical training from early childhood, learning to move silently across every surface they would encounter on a real mission. Sand, gravel, wet wooden floors, stone castle corridors, rooftops, water. Before a young shinobi was ever sent on an operation, they had to pass a test, walk across a sheet of wet washi paper without making a single sound. If the paper crinkled, if a foot dragged, if the balance shifted too sharply, they failed. They were not sent. The test was not about stealth tricks. It was about leg control, the ability to hold a deep knee bend while transferring body weight so slowly and so precisely that the paper beneath the foot did not register the pressure change. Hattori Hanzo was the product of this system. Born around 1542, he began training at age 8 on Mount Kurama, north of Kyoto. He became a full shinobi by age 12 and was recognized as a master by 18. His first battle was a nighttime attack on Udo Castle at age 16. He earned the nickname Oni no Hanzo, Demon Hanzo, for his ferocity at the battles of Anagawa and Mikatagahara. At Mikatagahara in 1573, Hanzo took just 30 Iga shinobi and harassed a numerically superior advancing army through nighttime guerrilla strikes, delaying their advance long enough for Tokugawa to regroup. In 1579, he defended the town of Iga with only a few hundred men against an army of 10,001. After escorting Tokugawa through the Iga mountain passes in 1582, moving through forested ridgelines where every snapped twig risked exposing the future shogun and every misplaced footstep risked ending the Tokugawa dynasty before it began, Hanzo became captain of the shogun's personal guard. The gate he guarded at Edo Castle is still called Hanzomon. There is a Tokyo subway line named after it. His legs carried a dynasty. And the question everyone has about sustained deep knee movement, does it not destroy your knees over time? The answer from the historical record and from modern biomechanics is no, when the progression starts in childhood and builds gradually. Ninja children trained on flat, predictable surfaces for years before advancing to rough terrain. The depth of the knee bend increased as the joints, tendons, and muscles adapted. The system was progressive by design because an injured ninja was a useless ninja. There was no room for overloading the body beyond its adaptive capacity. Here's what the 5 stealth walking techniques actually look like in your body. The foundation is Shinobi Ashi, quiet feet. You lower your center of gravity by bending the knees deeply, dropping into a sustained partial squat. Your weight sits centered and low. You place the outer edge of the foot down first, rolling gradually inward, feeling the surface before committing your full weight. Then you transfer. Not step, transfer. The rear foot provides quiet propulsion. The front foot receives weight silently. Each movement is a controlled single-leg weight shift from a crouch position. Your quads are under constant isometric tension. Your calves are stabilizing. Your hamstrings are breaking. And you hold this depth for the duration of the movement, which on a real infiltration could last 30 minutes to over an hour without standing up once. The first time you try Shinobi Ashi, your quads start burning in about 90 seconds. Your body immediately wants to rise. Every instinct screams to straighten the legs and relieve the tension. That rising is what gets you killed. In training, students who rose were spotted. On missions, students who rose were dead. The depth must be maintained. The second technique is uki-ashi, floating feet. You walk entirely on the tips of your toes with neither the heel nor the full foot touching the floor. This is a sustained calf raise under full body weight while moving in a crouch position. The gastrocnemius and soleus are under continuous load, while the quads maintain the deep knee bend simultaneously. Beginners wobble and lose balance within 30 seconds because the calves are not accustomed to stabilizing while the quads are already under maximal isometric tension. The calves shake, the ankles roll, the body lists sideways. Advanced practitioners glide through it. The feet make no sound because the entire body weight is distributed across the ball of the foot and the toes with millimeter precision. The third technique is inubashiri, dog running. You drop onto all fours with knees almost fully bent, back leaning forward at 45 degrees or more. You move forward with weight spread across hands, knees, and feet. This is for when you cannot stand upright, under a building, through a crawl space, along a wall in darkness. It loads the quads, hip flexors, hamstrings, and shoulders simultaneously through extreme flexion angles that no gym exercise replicates. The fourth technique, kitsune bashiri, or fox running, is identical except you stay on your fingertips and toes only. No palms, no knees touching. Just 10 points of contact supporting your entire body weight in a crouched position while moving forward. This was reportedly one of the 2 completely silent methods. The fifth and most advanced technique is shinso toho, the deep grass rabbit walk. The ninja crouches and places the balls of their feet onto the backs of their hands, then walks on their palms. Historical sources describe it as hard to master and not a fast method of movement, requiring much practice before a ninja was truly at ease. It was considered the most silent movement technique of all 5. The core strength alone is extraordinary. The coordination required to do this silently in complete darkness is almost incomprehensible. Try this right now. Stand up. Bend your knees until your thighs are parallel to the floor. Now hold that position. Do not lean against a wall. Just hold it. Count to 30. Feel your quads start to burn around 10 seconds. Feel the trembling start around 20. Now imagine walking in that position across an uneven surface in pitch darkness without making a sound for 30 minutes. That is not a workout. That is what a shinobi had to do before they were allowed on a mission. Now try something else. Take 3 silent steps across your room right now. Place the outer edge of the foot down first. Roll inward slowly. Pause before transferring your weight to the next step. Listen. Most people create 3 separate sounds, 1 for each step. A trained shinobi creates 1 continuous silence. This is where the science actually explains what they were doing. EMG research comparing isometric squat holds at different knee angles found that the 90-degree position, the exact depth of Shinobi Ashi, generates the highest overall quadriceps muscle activation. The vastus lateralis, vastus medialis, and rectus femoris all show peak EMG activity at 90 degrees. Shallow knee bends at 140 degrees produce the lowest activation. That burning you felt during the wall sit a moment ago, that is the exact knee angle that maximizes quad recruitment. And the ninja held it while moving through space, adding single leg weight transfer, surface variability, and the proprioceptive challenge of operating in total darkness. Modern squats give you the 90-degree position for a fraction of a second during each rep. Shinobi training held it for minutes and hours. The gluteus maximus follows the same pattern, significantly greater activation at 90 degrees compared to shallow positions. The deeper the knee bend, the harder the glutes work to stabilize the pelvis and control the descent. Every step in Shinobi Ashi is essentially a slow, controlled single-leg squat hold at the exact angle that maximizes both quad and glute activation. There is no gym exercise that combines sustained deep knee isometric loading, single-leg weight transfer, calf stabilization from toe walking, hip flexor loading from crouch 4-point movement, and proprioceptive demand from variable surfaces in darkness. The Shinobi Method combined all of them. Now here's the part most people get wrong about ninja training. They think it was about mystical powers and supernatural abilities. The black costume, the disappearing axe, the throwing stars. That is the myth. The shoninki, one of the 3 surviving historical ninja manuals, written in 1681 by Master Hattori Hanzo, states it directly. While many people believe that ninjutsu depends on magic, that is not exactly true. Ninjutsu is a practical art and not the imposture of a charlatan. The same text describes the shinobi path as one that takes him to the very borders of what an individual can tolerate. The historical reality is that ninja were professional operatives, often from the samurai class, who specialized in intelligence gathering, sabotage, and unconventional warfare. They did not wear black. Historical shinobi wore dark navy blue because black creates unnatural silhouettes in moonlight. They dressed as monks, merchants, and farmers to blend in. The supernatural reputation came from their physical abilities being so far beyond normal that observers attributed them to magic. But it was not magic. It was legs, conditioned through thousands of hours of deep knee movement across every surface imaginable. Here is what we actually lost. The shinobi training system integrated every lower body loading pattern into a single continuous practice. Isometric holds, single leg transfers, toe walking, crouched 4-point movement, and proprioceptive challenge in darkness, all happening simultaneously for hours per session. Modern leg training separated all of those variables into isolated exercises performed on stable surfaces with rests between sets and full visual feedback. The integration was the mechanism, and separation is what killed it. If you want to start, here's how. Week 1 and 2, practice wall sits at 90 degrees. Hold for 30 seconds, build to 2 minutes. Most people cannot hold 60 seconds. A shinobi held the equivalent position for hours while moving. Week 3 and 4, begin shinobi ashi on a flat indoor surface. Lower your center of gravity. Walk slowly with outer edge foot placement, rolling inward. 5 minutes continuous. The most common failure is rising upward after 30 seconds to relieve quad tension. If you catch yourself standing taller, you have broken the technique. Month 2, add yuki-ashi toe walking in the lowered position. Heels never touch the floor. This doubles the difficulty because the calves are now loaded on top of the quad isometric hold. 5 to 10 minutes continuous. Month 3 and 4, practice on grass, gravel, and uneven ground. Add darkness training by closing your eyes in a safe outdoor area. This develops the proprioceptive challenge that flat gym surfaces eliminate entirely. By month 4, the quads, calves, and hamstrings will have adapted visibly, not from squat programs, not from leg press protocols, from the same sustained isometric loading that built the legs of men who carried a future shogun through mountains in the dark and changed the course of Japanese history. Modern leg training replaced the hold with the rep and removed the one variable that made the lower body indestructible. The Shinobi Method put it back. If this changed how you think about leg training, subscribe. Drop a comment telling me what ancient method you want broken down next.